And Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. This is caught. Diggs. Sideline. Touchdown. Unbelievable. Bryant for the win. Bang. Watch out. He's got getting away from the top speed.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another SGN video where it's all similar time. Today we are bringing you episode 1 of our new Denver Broncos rebuild in Madden 24. Now, I had been doing a Rams rebuild for the last couple months, and we are in year 2 all the way to week 10. But the slider set that I dropped back in January, which is playing great by the way, had one issue, and that was sacks. Both the user and the CPU were getting too many sacks. This resulted in the user consistently leading the league in sacks and also taking a lot of sacks whenever they played the CPU, so your quarterback was always getting sacked a ton. It impacted other areas of the gameplay as well, especially for the CPU and the quarterback play. And that was the one major feedback I heard from the slider set in just the 7 weeks that it's been dropped. And so I went ahead and I looked into it, and I was able to find a very, very easy fix. That information is out. I recommend you get it if you haven't got it already. It's on the slider video. Just look up Madden 24 sliders or find it on the channel. You'll see the update. It's super easy. But this has fixed the sack issue for both the user and the CPU. You're no longer going to lead the league in sacks. I mean, unless you have like a legit front seven, a scary front seven. It's going to be a lot more realistic. This has also improved the quarterback gameplay for the CPU as far as they take deep shots. They have more off-target throws. It's just been better every way you look at it, and the feedback on this has been phenomenal. And this just made me want to restart because in the Rams, year 2, I was 2-10, 2-9, something like that. And but I was leading the league in sacks with just a horrible front seven, and it just diminished the realism factor for me, and it just made me want to restart. And so I threw up a poll on YouTube of who you guys would like to see me use, and I threw up the Broncos, Titans, Giants, or other, and y'all said Denver, and thank goodness, because that's who I really, really wanted to use. Of course, I lived in Colorado for 10 years. My family still lives there. My parents live there. I go back there all the time, and so Colorado, Denver, it was just a team I really, really wanted to take advantage of and rebuild, given my relationship to them. And so that's what we're doing. We're going to start up. Now, the issue is with this Denver Broncos rebuild is going to be Russell Wilson. He's not the long-term answer at quarterback. We got a huge cap situation with him. Don't have a lot of draft capital because of that trade. So what are we going to do? But we're going to figure that out. But if you are new here, man, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. All the sliders and settings you see in this video are mine, and I have videos for them to help you out. So make sure you check those out. So the first thing we went ahead and did is I did a start today with the Super Bowl. And I went in and I was looking at who retired for the league. And wouldn't you know, the Madden gods just threw me an early bone because Russell Wilson retired. Which means we don't have to trade him. We're just out of that cap. So we went from having a roughly $20 million in cap to about $55 million. I could not believe that this happened. Russell Wilson decided to retire, which is good for our cap situation, but also bad because he was a 76 overall. He was like really the only quarterback on our roster we could play with. We weren't going to play with Stidham. He's like a 62. So it created a lot of good, problem, or a lot of good things, but it created some problems too. $55 million in cap space is fantastic, but it also doesn't go as far as you would think in the NFL, given how much some players want for money. So that's the thing we have to figure out is, all right, so now we don't have a quarterback. We do have some extra cap space. We know there's only a couple potential options in free agency. We also know we don't have a ton of draft capital, and we might not hit. If we spend a first-round pick on a quarterback, we might not hit that quarterback. And so we got to try to build this roster as much as we can and figure out what we could do with free agency before we even go into the draft. We probably want to get a veteran. So what I did for you guys is I edited this down into the free agency of every single player that I made an offer to, whether they accept it or not. But the first thing we had to do is obviously pick up Patrick Surtain's 5th-year option. There wasn't really any other player that I really wanted to negotiate with. I wanted to just have as much flexibility as possible, but we were definitely picking up his 5th-year option. That's a no-brainer. And other than that, we are going to go in and we're going to sign some free agents. And basically, my focus was defense. We have a strong offensive line. We have good young wide receivers. We have a good young running back. Quarterback is a question mark. Tight end is a question mark. But overall, the offense is strong. Now, you look at a guy like Baker Mayfield. He'd fit perfectly, but he wants over half of our cap room would go to him in the year. $28 million a year. We got 50. So that's where we put quarterback on the back burner, and we looked at our defense. We have Patrick Surtain. We got Justin Simmons. And that's about it. Not much else. So we're trying to shore up the defense. And the first person I thought of was Patrick Queen. We were willing to give him the money that he wanted. So we went ahead and did a player-friendly deal that we thought maybe he'd like to accept. We shortened the years up just a little bit, tweaked the salary a little bit to try to persuade him a little bit. Our strength is pretty decent, and when we got the feedback, we were right there as a top offer with the Oakland Raiders. So I felt pretty good about Patrick Queen, who would I thought be a great addition to our defense. And the linebackers, all across the board, we needed help. And so Andrew Van Ginkel was another person I wanted to target. Older veteran player, but I thought we could get him for, around $10 million a year for a veteran presence who could come in there, make impact plays. He had a strong interest level in our team, so this made too much sense to reach out and give him an offer to come join the Denver Broncos and shore up our defense. That's where I want to spend our money, y'all. I want to spend our money on defense, pass rush. And try to shore up that secondary as best as we could, because we're going to be a run-the-ball, play-action team with that offensive line. Josh Uche was another one, if I'm saying his name right, that I felt like was a good person to target on the other linebacker position. So you could see we went middle linebacker, right outside linebacker, left outside linebacker on our first day. Of the three, only Uche signed. Van Ginkel was still thinking about it, but unfortunately, Patrick Queen did not want to play with Denver. He decided that he wanted to spend his free time up and down the strip of Las Vegas as he went and signed with the Oakland Raiders. Nothing we can do about that, unfortunately, but now we got to try to find a new replacement for what we thought was going to be our middle linebacker in Patrick Queen. So we had to go and reevaluate our next best option at the middle linebacker position. And scrolling through and looking at it, a name that stood out right away is Isaiah Simmons. Of course, he's 26 years old, so still youth, but he's just a freak athlete. You got the 92 speed, 93 acceleration. He can literally play multiple positions for us defensively, and no one was really giving him offers. And so we went ahead and we offered him what I thought would be enough to swing the table in our side. But just to be safe after losing out on Patrick Queen, I thought it might be good to go ahead and offer Deion Jones as well, just to be safe. We really didn't need a third middle linebacker because we do have Alex Singleton on the roster. But I wanted to be safe in case I missed out on Isaiah Simmons, because it just happened. But he signed. So we got Isaiah Simmons. Deion Jones did not sign, so we didn't have to worry about that cap space there. So we still have $30 million to play with here as we're still on day 2. And this is where we're trying to shore up our secondary. Levi Wallace was a good candidate to go and fill in there. He would be number 2 on our depth chart, which would be a good option across Patrick Surtain. And then now we're looking at run defense. So we needed a defensive tackle. Poona Ford was a guy who stood out that we could get for a year or two. He really only wants a 1-year deal. We're offering him a 2-year deal and give him a little bit extra money just to shore it up until we can find a long-term solution at the defensive tackle. But that was a good offer. Now, quarterback. We waited. Baker went off the board. A couple other guys went off the board. But Minshew's still there. Kirk Cousins still there. No offer for Kirk Cousins. And ultimately, I decided I wanted to go with Kirk Cousins over Minshew. I thought on a 1-year deal, the difference in pay wasn't going to be really that big of a deal, and I'd rather have the better quarterback. And so we offered Kirk. He wanted 25. We offered him 22.5. He had no other offers on the table, so we're going to come in low and see what he says there. Outside of that, now let's go back. We got to go back and shore up the back end. We know we got Justin Simmons over there, but safety-wise, we need some help. So let's go ahead and offer Terrell Edmonds. I think he's a good player to add to our roster potentially, depending on what he says. However, when we get ahead He didn't say yes, unfortunately. Tight end, another position we want to upgrade. We got Greg Dulcich, but not much else there. So Harrison Bryant was a good depth piece to add. Young guy that we could have for a couple years. We could potentially extend him depending on how he plays down the line, but I like the 2-year offer. Depending on how he plays, we could get him for a decent amount. So I already told you guys, Terrell Edmonds did not take our offer, so we had to go to Mike Edwards, who had a lot of interest in our team, which was fantastic because that meant we could do a team-friendly deal, save a little bit on the cap as far as what we needed to offer him because he's willing to come play for us for less. So we offered Mike Edwards, and we did end up getting him. We ended up deciding to trade Josh Uche later on because it turned out we didn't need him. I was not paying attention to our roster. We did not need him, so we went ahead and traded him. I was just trying to look for the best value that we could get out of him, and we got a corner, Benjamin St. Just. I don't know how to say it for sure, but he just slots right in as 77 overall corner. Great pickup for us to shore up our quarterback situation. So we ended up turning Uche into that, which worked out very well for us. And so I wanted to include the draft for you guys, and I thought I had everything saved. However, when I went back, I didn't get the first 3 rounds. I only had round 4. So that's very unfortunate because I was really excited to show you guys. We did take a quarterback number 1, and we hit on that quarterback. I'm super excited about it, and we're going to talk about our depth chart. And we have Kirk Cousins, but our rookie, our future, we hit Jaden Daniels. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. If you are curious, guys, Caleb Williams did get drafted by the Patriots, and Marvin Harrison Jr. went to the Bears. Very interesting. I thought that was pretty realistic of what could really happen in real life. Our 4th-round draft pick, Jalen McMillan, was a huge hit for us. He's a hidden dev trait. Jaden Daniels is also a hidden dev trait as well. So super excited about our quarterback of the future is on the roster. Our offensive line, like I said, is very, very strong. As you look through the depth chart, defensively, it's going to be a struggle. We don't really have much of a pass rush. Now, we should be decent on the run defense side of things just with our middle linebackers, but pass rush, we don't got anything special. We don't have anything special. So this is we're gonna have to, if we're gonna get pressure on the quarterback, we're gonna have to blitz. But the good news is we blitz, we have very strong secondary with Justin Simmons, Patrick Surtain, we got St. Juice, we got Levi Wallace, we got a pretty strong secondary. So if we blitz, this is something that we might be able to hold up with on the back end. So that's exciting for us as we try to figure out how we're going to be strong defensively with this roster. Anyway, that's kind of it. Now, normally I wouldn't show preseason gameplay or footage. I'd normally just play that on my own, and we'll get to the regular season. However, I'm not going to start Kirk Cousins. I'm not going to start Cortland Sutton. I'm not going to play Patrick Surtain. Just like our big guys, our big top-rated players, we're not going to play in the preseason. So I'll probably we're going to play game 1, and we're going to get a look at our rookie quarterback so we can get you guys some footage of that, just to get a first look at him and how he performs, and then we're going to get to our regular season where we're going to start this journey with the Denver Broncos. Hope you guys enjoy this series, man. As always, like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned to the next one. Peace.